Hey everybody, welcome back to Collect and Reflect. This is Eric here, and I am here to provide you our review on Marvel's Spider-Man 2 on PlayStation 5, the absolutely highly anticipated sequel to the PlayStation 4 Spider-Man and the side sequel, Miles Morales, that also came out for PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. And we've had some time with the game. We've had about 31 hours with the game. And after 31 hours, I have achieved the Platinum Trophy on PlayStation 5, as well as 100% of the story and the game, etc. So I feel like I've got a good grasp of this game. 31 hours. 31 hours was my time to absolutely complete everything. The actual story itself, I would say I probably clocked in at around 20 hours. Give or take, it was a bit hard to tell between doing side quest and mission. So I'll give you my overall thoughts on the timing of that game versus the first game and versus, the price of this game. But I'm gonna kind of talk about this game in a few different categories. You're gonna see a lot of footage of the game. I just recently recorded this footage of myself playing the game to highlight a few aspects of this review. So this is your warning right now. Spoilers ahead. I am not going to be discussing any specific elements of the story, so I wouldn't look at this as there being story spoilers here, but just because I'm recording this footage with myself having already 100% of the game, so you might see some abilities, some suits, or small combats or enemies that I'm going to be fighting during this review, during this footage, that might be considered spoilers. If you're somebody who likes to go into a game completely blind, completely fresh, then definitely these are spoilers for you. So I want to give you your fair warning. Spoilers ahead. Click away or come back to this review when you are ready to watch with some spoilers. So all that aside, I'm going to start by talking about the graphics. This game is a technological marvel, no pun intended, for several reasons. I mean, the graphics, the performance of the game are absolutely incredible in my opinion. I mean, even looking at the PlayStation 4, those graphics were fantastic for the time, but this one just elevates it to another level there with the ray tracing and reflections and lighting that you're able to see in the game. Different weather moments and transitioning directly from cutscene to gameplay footage. I mean, we're at the point now where in most video games, cutscenes are the same graphics level as actual gameplay, and this game is no different. So the graphics of this game are fantastic. It is a real treat to look at the game, whether in combat or whether just traversal in this game. I mean, that's some of the most fun that you'll have in this game, just the look and feel of New York City in the various sectors of the game, and there's just always something to look at. It is really pleasing to the eyes, whether you're in the daytime, the evening, the night, rain, or clear weather. So it's fantastic to look at. So you'll be happy there. Talking about traversal, so part of the gameplay is the traversal of the city, is this the kind of platforming element to this game, and that could not be more fun than it is in this game. I've yet to play another game where an open world game where just traversal from one point to another is sometimes just as fun as combat or story or stealth or some other actual gameplay aspect of the game. It is seamless and fluid to do things like swinging between buildings, jumping off of things to get speed, and with the addition of the web wings where you're able to actually glide through the city on air currents, and as opposed to actually using web to sling around, it is a game changer. It just makes you're able to pick up so much speed. You'll see in some of the clips here I'm using some of the abilities that are able to elevate yourself or propel yourself forward to catch more speed. And then you've got the wind tunnels, so you might be looking at a waypoint or something, a huge number. Like if something is under 1,000 in terms of I don't know how it's measuring that in units. I don't know if it's feet, yards, or meters, but if it's under 1,000, you consider that to be pretty close, something you wouldn't necessarily need to fast travel for. But in this game, it can even be something in the realm of like 3,000, 4,000, and if you catch a wind current on your web wings and when you're gliding, you're able to just go extremely fast. And then that kind of brings up another point, is fast travel. This is the fastest truest fast travel that I've seen in a game like this. There was an argument from some of the Insomniac devs that they were saying, you know, is the fast travel, you know, holding the triangle button on the map, is that considered a loading screen? I mean, it's I was looking at a review that's like it's sub 2 seconds to load into a specific area of the map that you want to fast travel into, and that's really just a confirmation of the fact that you do want to fast travel. So it is sub 2 seconds. That is the fastest fast travel in an open world that we've seen in the next gen era. So that is absolutely fantastic. And in addition to fast travel, it's just the ability to transition between Miles and Peter. So Peter and Miles are always on the map at any given time, and depending on what you're doing in the game, whether it be story or just traversal or side quest, you can switch between them whenever you want. There are times where you're locked into a specific story that is tied to either Miles or Peter, where, you know, it'll tell you, hey, you can't switch this time. But those are pretty story specific, and the times that those come up are not very frequent. But yeah, you can see here in the footage, you're able to just open up a particular screen using your controller and switch from Peter to Miles. It's the same screen that you would use to select some of the Spider-Man mission requests that come up throughout the game. And it's just as fast as fast travel to switch from one Spider-Man to the other. And like I said, both Spider-Men are on the map at the same time, so you could be just doing a regular like crime busting event, and you might run into the other Spider-Man who helps you out during that fight. And there are some other people that can help you out during fights that might show up, and I won't spoil any of that story related wise. But yeah, you'll see different characters and things like that, mainly Miles or Pete, helping you out during some of the small fights in the city. So combat. I don't feel like combat has changed all that much from Spider-Man 4. I think really what they did is they streamlined it, and they made it a lot more accessible to somebody who's not like a die-hard into like really combat intensive games. The boss fights are a different story. Those all have their different elements to them that make that specific boss fight difficult or not difficult. Obviously, there's going to be objectives that you need to complete like in that fight. But just regular combat, you know, with like hordes of enemies that might come at you, that's pretty similar to Spider-Man 4. But in this game, like your special abilities and your gadgets are easily accessible by like R1 plus triangle X square circle, or L1 and triangle X square circle. And it's in your main menu that you map different abilities that you unlock and different gadgets that you unlock. So you've got some choices on those two, because rather than the last game where like mid-battle you would like hold the up button and it would freeze time for a second and you would select a different ability or a different gadget to use, this time around there's way less of that going on. It's meant to keep those battles fluid. They're very fast-paced. You can really chain some combos up really high, and just quickly using your gadgets, quickly using your abilities, and seeing like the cooldown or the recharge on either of those is done really fast. It's all done in real time. So I think that's a massive improvement, in my opinion, as far as what they improved or changed about combat, because in the last game, sometimes it would kind of take you out of it. You're in the heat of the moment, you're in this really big battle, there's a lot going on, and you're like freezing time to select different things on a wheel, and it can be kind of cumbersome depending on how you're holding that controller. So I think they made it a little bit more accessible. I think they made it more streamlined, and if you are somebody who's like really into intensive combat, and especially if you're playing at a higher difficulty, I think that definitely lends to that experience being more positive, the fact that all of that is done a lot more seamlessly. So graphics are great, traversal is great, load times, technical abilities in this game are fantastic. I did run into a few game crashes here or there. I'm hoping that that's not something that people are dealing with too much, but again, I was playing for like really long sessions, trying to complete this game as quick as possible to, you know, be able to put out a review and get that platinum trophy. But yeah, so as far as completing the game, the story was excellent. I would say there were less like high intense like emotional moments in this story than there were in Spider-Man 4, but there still is some of that. There's definitely a lot of hard decisions that your main characters are forced to deal with. There is definitely some emotion and some flashbacks to you know, emotional trauma that these characters have gone through, but it's an absolutely excellent adaptation of several different, comic lines that people might be familiar with, whether it be comics or movies. There's all kinds of different, adaptations of classic Spider-Man stories, villains and heroes, and the like. And this is a great one. There's surprises. There's definitely surprises that you haven't seen in the trailers that will come at you in this game, and that I really enjoyed. And yeah, overall it's really satisfying. I don't know if I just completed this faster because I was so excited to play the game, but I feel like I completed the story faster than I did in Spider-Man 4. But things really hit the ground running. I would say the pacing is really done well, better than in PlayStation 4 Spider-Man, because you're just always gripped. You always want to start doing the next thing, and there's not these like long drawn out kind of sequences where you can't get to the next main mission. You can really just push through that at your own pace, and yeah, it feels really well placed, very well streamlined, and doesn't feel rushed. It just might be shorter than some people are expecting, depending on if you're equating cost of the game to length of story. So I was satisfied with it, but just wanted to put that out there. That's probably my only downside to this game is, like I said, 31 hours and I'm complete. Not just the story, but I am complete with every little submission, all the collectibles and things like that. Side quests. Bringing up side quests. Please do them. There's some really satisfying quest lines. You'll see the side quests are kind of broken up into like different lines of quests, and they all have their own satisfying ending that either bring up Easter eggs or maybe things that may turn into DLC stories, and maybe even things that lead to a potential sequel for either Miles, Peter, or both of them. So I definitely recommend that you do all of the side quests and reach the little cutscenes and Easter eggs and things like that those result in. So overall, as far as like if I give this game like a number for a score, it's hard to say. I mean, I want to give it like a 10 out of 10, and but I do. It's not a perfect game, but yeah, I mean, I give it 2 thumbs up. I give it my stamp of approval. I think it's worth the cost of admission. Right, you're talking about a $70 game in today's era, today's time. I think it's worth it. I think if you wait down the line to pick up this game for cheaper, you're gonna wait till it's $50 or $40. I think you'll be super happy with what you get for what you paid for there. Not that you're not now, but it just it all depends on your budget and what you want to spend on a game. So I recommend it, strongly recommend it. I think it is, if you like Spider-Man PlayStation 4, there's just more to love here. If you like the Miles Morales, I think if you like the Miles Morales game, again, that was a shorter game. So if you liked either of those games, there's just more of it here. It's more polished, it's more streamlined, it's more accessible, and overall, yeah, can't speak highly enough of this game. I think this is truly one of the games that fits into the category of a next-gen title. So hope you're enjoying the game. If you are playing it, hope that you are encouraged by this review to go play it if you're still on the fence. And overall, hope that you enjoy this review. And if you did, thank you so much for watching. Let us know what you think in the comments, and we'll see you in the next one.